Everybody, this is Chris Mahan again. This is Card Talk video number 4. Just wanted to do a quick one here today. I'm actually still at work. I'm coming back from a meeting. But I had something happen this morning with someone that's pretty close to me, and she indicated that her daughter was having some issues in school and in life and whatnot. Right now she's 13 years old, and it kind of broke my heart because I know her mom very well, and the mom got a little upset because when she asked her daughter if she was having thoughts of hurting herself, the daughter said yes, and a school counselor called and said that, I don't think it's time for a suicide intervention, but we want to make you aware. When a parent hears something like that, it is a red flag, as high as a red flag can be. This mom did the right thing. She immediately went to her daughter. She immediately asked what they can do. Her daughter revealed a couple things and was afraid to, but because the line of communication, which we talked about earlier in earlier videos, that line of communication was open and honest with this family, the daughter confided in the mom, a few things. And at first she said, well, I wasn't sure if I could talk to you about it. Now again, she's 13 years old. And the mom was like, listen, we've never had issues or anything. And the daughter's like, you're right. So these issues that were on the table in the daughter's mind that were bothering her are now out in the open. And she's getting the help that she needs. One of the big things that a lot of parents are afraid to do today is, again, ask those big questions and keep that line of communication open very early. I mentioned this the other day. This just happened today now, this situation. But just the other day, in an earlier video, I told you that if you don't have an open line of communication, when things happen in that child's life, whether it's drugs, body image, sexual orientation, grades, what have you, they're not going to come to you. They're going to find a way to cope with this. And sometimes it's through cutting, self-harm, suicidal thoughts, running away, drugs. And by that point, most parents look at this as, oh my gosh, I'm having emotional problems with my kid, typical teenager, what am I going to do? They take them to get help, and people want to put them on meds. All these things are preventative, in my view, with that open line of communication and understanding how to ask a question. Now, we talked about that the other day with not using why statements. This mom did the right thing. She came to her daughter. She did not judge her daughter. She did not use guilting or shaming or any other negative, reactive response. She came to her as a leader. Now, when she talked to me about it, the mom, she definitely broke down a little bit because she'd been holding this in, and that's very understandable. I mean, this is your child. So when your son or daughter is having issues at school or in life, the last thing you want to do is overreact. You have to be that leader. You have to be that strong rock for them, because their life honestly does depend on it. And I know that might sound cliche. It might sound a little over the top. But I've had those conversations with parents that have lost their child, 14, 15, 16, 12, to suicide. That is a conversation that, A, you never want to have to be a part of, and B, you never want to have to be the one having that conversation with a group saying, well, my son was, or my daughter was, or I wish I had, because by then it's too late. So how do we go about this? One, we want to have that line of communication open. Two, we want to have a way to express to our son or daughter positive communication skills, but also positive coping skills, positive emotional coping skills. A lot of young people have a sense of hopelessness. A lot of young people have a sense of pain that they want to get rid of. So they want to mask that pain with something greater, something where there's some control in their life. This is why a lot of young kids, even boys, they cut. They burn themselves. They do things that to you and I might seem completely irrational and just, you can't even imagine why someone would think this way. But when you're in that frame of mind, that emotional frame of mind of emptiness, hopelessness, lost, a dead-end road, so to speak, you want to feel, right? We are emotional creatures. We want to feel. This is very important for young people. I've said this before. From 8 to 80, they all have the same emotional needs. We all do. And there are places online where you can find information on positive coping skills. If your son or daughter wants to cut, have them grab an ice cube. Squeeze that ice cube till your hand gets cold, okay? There's no scarring, there's no blood, but it helps them feel, right? Have them have a rubber band and snap their wrist if that's what they want to do. There are a multitude of sites and resources out there on positive coping skills. If you're not sure how to handle it, I would suggest that you talk to your child's school counselor, see if there's some resources within your local community, within your school. The last thing you want to do, though, is not talk about this. As hard as it is, as revealing of information you might find out, you have to talk to your son or daughter. It's imperative. I'm telling you, you do not want to have that conversation after a funeral. It's just straight up, you don't. I mean, it's horrible. It's heartbreaking. A loss of life is over something as silly as what we think to be silly as, body image or sexual orientation or whatnot. To a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old, this is their world. This is all they can think about. They're all consumed by it. We have to kind of put ourselves in their mindset to understand. Take your own emotions out of it. Understand it. Find the help. Be the leader. All right? I want to know your thoughts on this. As always, I know we went a little bit longer today. We're about 7 minutes. Email me at leadyourteen@gmail.com. Message me back here on Facebook. I want to know your thoughts. And this is something that as a group, we can definitely make some changes for our kids and our future. I appreciate it. I'm Chris Mahan. I do appreciate your time. Thank you so much.